All right, so Robert, if Benavidez and Canelo doesn't happen, and I'm pretty 99% sure this is gonna happen. Benavidez Morrell. What kind of fight is that? I mean, you talk about these two 6'2",
Yeah,
6'3" monsters.
Morrell's a monster, bro. He hits hard, and a lot of people don't know him because he only has like 8 fights, so they don't really know. But he's the real deal. Experience and all that. I gotta go with Benavidez, but it's still a fucking good fight. That'll be a good fight, a fight that I would like to watch.
Because a lot of fights, right? We want these fights, they don't get made.
Yeah.
But this fight is like getting made almost early. Like it's not even marinated yet,
Yeah,
But they're two monsters, like monsters. You know what I mean?
If the Canelo fight's not there, then that's the fight that I would like to see. Definitely, 100%.
With Benavidez, right? The knock on him, what they try saying is, well, he hasn't beat no one. He's bigger than everybody, and that's why he wins, right? That's what they say. Morrell's bigger than David.
Yeah,
I tell people, don't believe that 6'1" stuff that they say on Boxer. He's a legit 6'3".
It'll just be a great fight because Morel has fucking great power, great. He's hungry. He wants to be huge in boxing. So I really, I really think it'll make it a good fight. I still pick Benavidez.
If Benavidez can get past Morrell and Canelo doesn't fight him, is there any stopping Benavidez? Because Morrell's going to be his biggest threat.
Well, if he moves up to light heavyweight, maybe the
Benavidez,
the
Bivol too.
The Bivol, those are the guys that might give him problems because they're just good and strong, But he'll still compete against them. I know that he'll compete against them.
With Morrell, right? Morrell has good speed, good movement. What problems do Cubans give Mexican fighters, and then what advantages do we have over Cuban fighters?
I think the Cubans have the advantage of the first few rounds because they have the speed, they have the amateur system, but the Mexicans have the Mexican style in late rounds. After the 6th round, it's all it benefits the Mexicans. So it's those fights where the Cuban has to totally dominate the first half and maybe hurt them, drop them, knock them out. Because if it goes to the late rounds, I favor the Mexicans. That's just I've seen it so many times with so many Cubans because most of them are Olympians, most of them are medalists, so they got that good fucking amateur style and they know how to control the first half of the fight. But then towards the end, the Mexicans, with that body shot, they start slowing them down. Those body shots, those uppercuts, and they start breaking them down. Great fights, man, between Mexican and Cubans.
The rivalry, right? It used to be Mexican against Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Is the new rivalry going to be Mexican versus Cuban?
I think it's still Mexican Puerto Rico because it's just classics, man. Those are just classics. I think Cubans, the recent Cubans, it won't be Mexican versus Cubans because Cubans don't have that much following, especially here in the United States. And if you go to Cuba, they don't allow it in Cuba. They probably don't even watch the fights in Cuba. So there's not that many Cuban fans in the United States. So I don't think so. I think Puerto Rican because Puerto Rico is a country that's full of talent when it comes to boxing, and they travel to the United States. A lot of Puerto Ricans live in the United States. So I think that rivalry is always going to be the biggest. Puerto Rico versus Mexico.
I want to ask you as well, right? Something that a lot of I'm in the gyms and a lot of Mexican trainers, fighters, they say, well, the Cubans, they're good, but once it gets to the 7th, 8th round, we drown them. Do you feel like that's what a lot of Mexicans think, that they're really, because the Cubans, they're so built on 3-round fights, right? They have 200 amateur fights, 300 amateur fights.
Yeah, but
that the Mexicans in the pros,
it's true.
That's what we say, that hey, once it gets past 6 rounds, we drown them. Do you feel like that's the mindset that Mexican fighters have when they fight a Cuban?
That's the mindset, and that's the way I was thinking when I fought Joaquin Sotomayor, but he knocked me out in the 6th round. You know what I mean? That's the plan I had, so you know what I mean?
But he was a gold medalist too, man.
Gold medal. He was bad. That fucker was bad. Cepillo, shout out to Cepillo. He's a good friend. You know what? That's the way it looks. That's the way it's been. But if the Cuban dominates before the 6th, then you're done, bro. After the 6th, then the Mexican with the body shots, with the pressure, then that's when the Mexicans take over. But the fights are great, man. Every time a Mexican and a Cuban are winning, we know it's going to be a good fight.
Is by David Benavidez taking these hard fights? Is that something that boxing needs? We need a Latino superstar, right?
Yeah,
but
Hopefully he takes that fight against Morrell, because that's another fight that we would like to see. Hopefully, even I don't know how easy it would be to make because it's Golden Boy, but Munguia would also be another fight that brings the attention, especially if Canelo doesn't fight him, then another Mexican is going to say, I'm willing to fight him, so let's do it. It'll be big. Moves up. After that, he moves up in weight to fight the light heavyweight champions out
Bivol,
there. Yeah. So yes, he could be the Mexican, Mexican American, superstar.
Now, with Bivol, right? Bivol dominated Canelo, and there's been a lot of sparring stories that Benavidez has done really good with Bivol. Do you think Benavidez can beat Bivol, or do you see that ever happening in the future?
I hope to see the fight, because I could be wrong, but I think that he could beat him. I think that he could beat him. But Bivol is just so smart, so fast. He uses his speed very good.
Is it the distance that Bivol does? The distance, he knows how to stay.
But Benavidez is tall, also. He's got that reach, also. So I don't know, man. That's what I'm saying. It would be such an interesting fight. I picked Benavidez, but Bivol is just something.
Está cabrón, right?
Está cabrón ese vato.
Right now, because Bivol, they're calling him the Executioner. So it's like, he's the new Pacquiao beating all the Mexicans. So, do you think Canelo? Did you give Canelo any kind of chance against Bivol in the rematch?
Yeah, there's always a chance, man. Especially if he was injured, or if he, didn't train that hard. There's always a chance. So Canelo hits hard. Canelo could land a punch and hurt him, but I think from Canelo's last couple of performances, I don't think there's going to be many people that think he's got a chance.
Do you think the rematch plays out like the first fight?
Could be. More likely, that's probably what we will see.
All right, thanks so much, brother.